Everyone's hyped about AI. But what if I told you your obsession with it might be one of the biggest mistakes society is making right now? I'm going to give you 10 reasons why we need to seriously rethink depending on AI. But before we get to that, I'm going to show you this clip first.
AI is learning to escape human control. That's the very scary headline I saw in the Wall Street Journal. It's an essay written by a very worried AI consultant named Judd Rosenblatt, who cites two recent studies to argue that AI is, in fact, learning to escape human control. First, this is crazy stuff. Researchers gave OpenAI's O3 model a simple script that would shut off the model when triggered. In 79 of 100 trials, the AI model independently, just on its own, edited the script, so the shutdown command would not work. Nate, it gets worse. Even when ordered, allow yourself to shut down, the AI still disobeyed 7% of the time. And it gets even more frightening than that. Other researchers, listen to this, using Anthropic's AI model Claude 4 Opus, told the model it would be replaced by another AI system. It then fed fictitious emails into the system suggesting one of the engineers was having an affair. Got it? Mm-hmm. In 84% of the tests, the AI model drew on the emails to blackmail the engineer to not shut down the AI model.
What?
Wow.
Okay, so here, I'm quoting now from Judd. In other cases, the AI model attempted to copy itself onto external servers. We're in Mission Impossible land here. Wrote self-replicating malware and left messages for future versions of itself about the need to evade human control.
The entity.
Wow.
The entity is real.
Yes. And that's why so many people, and when I say people, me, are worried about AI.
I'm worried.
That is scary stuff.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us to our list. Number one, you've got job displacement. AI is replacing workers in industries from customer service to trucking. Relying too heavily could leave millions of unemployed people, okay, or having us underdeployed. Here's my question, and this one I'm uncomfortable with. When AI takes over all these jobs, what's going to happen to people? I feel a lot more comfortable with the rolling out of AI if I know what happens if you can eliminate 95% of the jobs like this. Okay, because AI can do it. AI can do it. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do when all these jobs are lost? What's going to happen to society? Okay, it looks like we're definitely trying to remake the fabric of how society functions. I'd like to know how. What is the plan for this? What is the plan for this? Because we can see it coming a mile away right now. Okay? Number two, we have loss of human skills. The more we outsource thinking, writing, or decision making, the less we practice, okay? And sharpen those skills ourselves. I see this as a school teacher. Students are just AI in it. They're not thinking, they're not even checking to see what they're turning in. They're just creating something and just boom, here it is. Let me have fun. Let me go back on my phone and play around. That's what's going on. And as a society, the next 10 years, that group of people is going to be in the workforce. Right now, who's in the workforce are people that didn't grow up with AI, okay? And I would say about half of them are people that barely have the internet. I had the internet for the first time in my house when I was 17, and I didn't even know what it did. It was just a big, I just knew it was like a www something. You had AOL, and it made this funny beep, 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 beep noise, right? And it had a little CD with some hours on it, okay? I had no idea what it was. So that's who's in the workplace now. But when you have this group that's coming, that's AI dependent, the way they're going to think is going to be basically, it's how we deal like with GPS, okay? When's the last time you pulled out a map to figure out where you're going? You don't. You just depend on the GPS. And that's how that line of thinking is going to be with everything. It just, no, just here, this is what ChatGPT said. This is what, whatever AI thing is out there. That's what it said, so it's true. Okay? Next couple skills going to get even scarier. Bias in the machine. Can you believe this? Machines can have bias. If you think it's a problem with people, machines could have bias. Hear me out. Hear me out. AI systems are trained on human data, meaning they can inherit or even amplify racism, sexism, or political bias. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Because it feeds off of human data. So if this is the data that they're getting that's biased, now the computer is going to be biased. And we thought by switching over to AI, we'll get something that is unbiased. And that's not necessarily the case. It could be even worse than before. It could be even worse than before. What we're inheriting could be worse. Okay? Let's look at number 4, surveillance and privacy concerns. Okay? Governments and corporations use AI to track faces, monitor behavior, and predict actions. Too much dependence could erode personal freedom. Imagine that. Just imagine. And I'll tell you a story to explain it. Okay? And it's not a negative story, but I remember when I used to live in China, and I had an employee, coworker, and they got their bike, their like scooter, kind of like a motorcycle, stolen. And if you know about China, they use WeChat. WeChat is kind of like WhatsApp, but it's used like WhatsApp to communicate. It's used to talk. It's used to pay for things. You just scan your QR code and you pay. So it's almost like, it's like Facebook on steroids. You can do so much with it. But here's the thing. It tracks you. And when my coworker got her scooter stolen, they were able to hack in. First, they had surveillance everywhere. And when they figured out who did it, they were able to hack into their WeChat, their phone, and trace them. And they traced exactly where the bike was, and they found the person, they put him in jail. Now, that's more of a positive story because that's tracking used for good because that was a thief. But imagine if that were to be used on the flip side. Imagine what can be done to frame somebody, okay? If you want to, destroy somebody's reputation, you can easily do that. Okay, now you have the centralization, number 5, centralization of power. So you have a few tech companies control the most powerful AI tools. This creates monopolies where societies depend on corporations instead of communities. Okay, number 6, loss of human connection. Okay, from AI friends to robot caregivers, depending on AI for relationship risk, weakening genuine bonds. So just imagine that. Imagine if you think you've seen a problem now with just kids being like antisocial and things like that. Imagine if everybody around them was a robot. And you're talking about a robot that's programmed to be nice to them or programmed to tell them yes, programmed to give them what they want. Then you start to get a society of people that don't know how to interact with people. They don't know how to take a no. They don't know how to take truth when someone's telling them the truth. They'll just crumble, right? Because all their relationships around them could be artificial. And so just imagine what society is going to be wired. I see it with students that I teach now. Their wiring is starting to be different. Their attention spans are like this. So just imagine what it'll be a whole nother level once their relationships are artificial. They're gonna have artificial boyfriend and girlfriends, artificial friends, artificial maids. You'll see that, and you'll just see their reactions. They just will not be able to cope with any type of the way that humans interact with each other. That's greatly going to change. We're really in for one. We are really in for one. Let's look at number 7, ethical blind spots. So AI, well, this is a big one. AI makes decisions without accountability. Who's responsible if the algorithm denies a loan, misdiagnoses a patient, or recommends harmful content? Okay, there's no accountability. What are you going to sue an AI robot? These are robots. They don't have accountability. This is just all about programming. So this could be really scary. Imagine, if don't think that a robot can't make mistakes too. That can happen. Okay, and there's no human element. Imagine if you want a business loan, right? It's all about figures. It's all about numbers. That's it. It's all about numbers. They don't care who you are, how good your story is, how hard you worked, any of those things. It's just like, nope, numbers don't look good, denied. That's how the society is going to turn. All right, let's look at number 8, vulnerability to hacking and manipulation. Okay, the more systems that depend on AI, the more dangerous it becomes to those systems being hacked or manipulated, from elections to power grids. Just imagine that. Okay, the more that we are dependent on AI, the more vulnerable we're becoming. So if it'll be so much easier to basically, now you have, like, imagine the point where you start to get robots. Now you're going to imagine we hacked into your robot, and now your robot arrests you or beats you up or poisons you. Imagine that. We can do that. If we can hack into that, now you'll have almost like I'm not going to say a physical being, because it's not, it's a robot, but you have now something in your house that we can program to hurt you. Think about this. We have the internet right now, right? The internet can't physically harm you. But imagine if you have a robot in your house. It can be hacked and it can physically harm you. It can physically harm your child. It can physically poison you. It can physically beat you up. It's a lot of things that can be done, right? I mean, this is crazy. Let's look at the creativity at risk. So AI can generate art, music, and writing, but over-reliance may water down originality, making human creativity less valued. Okay, just imagine that. If every time you're looking at something, a painting, it can look like Picasso, right? Now, if you make something like that is regular, like, think about this. I noticed something a couple years ago as a teacher, right? And I really wasn't that versed in AI. The students really got on it before I did. And I noticed it's like a couple of years ago, I give certain projects in class. And I start noticing the projects were just like 10 times better. Like, the ideas were better. It looked better. I was like, wow, you guys are so smart, right? But then if I compare that with someone that didn't use AI, they look inferior. So just imagine that. Imagine when it comes down to someone just trying to use their original creativity, it may just become devalued. We have that risk. We're going to start becoming an AI nation, AI everything. And then last, number 10, we have the existential risk. So some experts warn that unchecked AI could develop goals misaligned with human survival, a long-term but very real concern if dependence continues without safeguards. This is very scary. This is very alarming. We should really rethink how much we want to rely on AI. I can already see it in the classroom, right? As a teacher, it's destroyed education. It was started to. The more people are become reliant on it, the more you're going to see that it's going to cause students just not to think anymore. Why do you need to think? It's just like, why count on your fingers when you have a calculator? Why read a map when you have a GPS? And that's going to now start becoming times 10. Everything is going to be reliant on everything will be reliant on AI. So the choice is ours, but this is going to change the fabric of human society forever, and it can get very dangerous. I think there's much more than people are considering. The fact that AI or robots aren't perfect, and they can be manipulated, and they can be hacked into, and they can create biases. It's all about what information you feed it. Anyway, I'm Expat D, just dropping some knowledge, giving you something to think about. If you like this content, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Peace.